What's up, y'all? It's your host, Sensei, and back in another episode. I'm not a co-host, but I'm with
Emmett Johnson. E-Money.
Oh, God. How you doing, my boy?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm chilling. I'm glad that I could finally get you on the show. It's been a long time coming. I got hip to you when your brother was a junior, right?
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about all of it, right?
Yeah.
Somebody told me he's good, but wait till his little brother comes to the seed. Yeah. And I'm like, there's no way his little brother's like way better. Because I have a little brother myself, and it tends to be the younger brother tends to be like way better than the older ones. And you know what? They were right. So how does it feel playing both sports when you were younger?
I mean, it felt good. I mean, I didn't know what, sport I was going to get into at first. I kind of just was trying out things. My parents, they didn't play no sports or nothing like that. So I started off playing football when I was 8 years old. And then I got into basketball.
Wait, before we even get to that, so you're a Liberian king as it comes to know, of course. How did your dad instill into you like sports method and mentality and things of that nature, especially since he didn't get a chance to play?
I really just say my dad always been hardworking. He's always been a hard worker, and he instilled that in me and my brother.
Yeah. Were you born here or born in Liberia?
I was born here.
Okay.
He told me a lot about Liberia, where he came from, and he's always been a hard worker, pushing me and my brother to be the best people we could be. And so when I started playing sports, it was really like he couldn't really help us with the sports aspect of it, but he can give us that confidence, and he was tough. He survived through the war and everything, so he gave that mentality to us, and then that's why I took off with basketball, football. I started playing all types of sports, just getting into anything. And then even my brother played some soccer. I was just trying out sports, baseball. That was my best sport. And then
it was your best sport?
Yeah, people don't even know that. But
what you mean? How come?
So I just could do it all. Like I was playing shortstop, I could pitch, center field. It just got boring. I was playing AAU at the time, so I kind of liked basketball more at the time, but I was really talented in baseball. Okay. So I just, started playing AAU for a little bit. I started playing football, and then I quit baseball when I was like 13.
Okay.
And looking back on it, I still feel like I could play now, but it's just like, I don't know, it's one of those things where basketball, football took off. I started playing both sports, and then.
Did you get a chance to touch your toes into the track game?
Yep, I did that in high school though. That was my first time ever running track.
Oh, what events? Yeah,
I did the 100. 200, and I did a 4x1.
So, have you just always been listed an ultra athlete?
Basically, some of it's God given, some of it's just the work I put in. But yeah, I've always been kind of just the fastest guy on the team. Yeah.
You know what? And does that transition? So, when it comes to basketball, I realize when they do come from football, they tend to be ultra athlete and play the game of basketball as if they're playing football. Do you think that incides with you?
I would say like the vision part of it, being a point guard, like just seeing the whole court is kind of similar to seeing the whole field when I run, being running back. And so I think, there's little things like that play a role in both sports. But overall, I'll just say the biggest thing is my vision, just seeing the whole field, seeing the whole court. That all transition with each other. Of
course. And when it does come to basketball, so I remember when we played when Chris Ray played Holy Angels.
Crystal Ray?
Yeah. I'm actually so upset because we were supposed to win that game. Till this day, I feel like we were supposed to win.
Was that at Crystal Ray or was that at?
It was at Holy Angels.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And for some reason, y'all had like a bunch of like 6'6" white boys that could shoot for some reason.
Some shooters, some snipers.
Oh, God.
All types of snipers.
And since when were you a scorer? Because I thought you were like athletic on some like Pat Bev, Draymond Green type vibe where you're doing everything but not really a bucket. And then somehow you had like 26.
Nah, if that's the year my brother was there.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really the facilitator at the time. I grew up scoring. I always been a scorer.
Okay.
So that was my first thing is like sit in the corner, shoot threes from the corner, up tempo, steals, defense, but. I think the biggest thing is my brother was a facilitator, so that made it easy for me to just be a scorer. Like, that was my role on the team. But as I grew up, I kind of started doing the facilitating and, being more in the assist game and the rebounds and all that. But I grew up a scorer, man. I always been a scorer. Like, I scored over 1,000 in high school.
Yeah, you got your work. Yeah.
No, I've been a bucket.
How did you make that happen? Because of
Yeah.
You started playing varsity. Did you start playing varsity your freshman year? Or was it your sophomore year? That's when you really started taking off with it.
I mean, I started a couple games my 8th grade year towards the end of the year. Then when I got freshman year, I came to Holy Angels, and it wasn't common for freshmen to play varsity. Get minutes, yeah. And so I kind of just went in there.
How did they even take that? Being that you were the new kid on the block, and you just.
I mean, I made them take it. Really, I got there. We played a couple, fall league games, and then I just started scoring from at the beginning, I started scoring like 20, 30 points. And they're just like, who's this kid? Like, he's pretty good. But I kept doing it consistently over and over again. And my coach is just like, I mean, we can't, not play this guy. And so I earned that starting spot. And my brother was, he joined me, which is a great part of that too. So,
what stopped you from going to Washburn with your brother?
I was really just saying, like, I could have went other places like, Eden Prairie, Minnehaha, one of those bigger schools. But I kind of want to just start my own thing. And go to a school where I get great education.
Yeah, because I was hearing that you're supposed to go to De La Salle or the Hopkins and things of that nature.
De La Salle too.
Yeah,
I was close to going to De La Salle because that was
what happened?
I don't know. They were known for being good, and I didn't want to join a team that was already doing good. I kind of wanted to start my own thing.
Okay.
And so once I heard that they're pretty good at basketball, but they weren't seen as a basketball school.
Yeah.
I'm about to change this and make it a basketball school.
Okay.
So once I got to Holy Angels, it was like. That was one of my first things. Basketball was like the first, thing I played. So I just went in there and just, we changed everything around quickly.
How did it feel going to a whole new school with like one other friend there, being your brother?
Yeah, I mean, I made friends quickly. I wouldn't really say I went in there. It was just like, I just got my brother. I don't got nobody else. Okay. But I think as I went there, I got some friends that transferred over. So like some friends I played with when I was younger, they ended up coming. Okay. So Holy Angels got more diverse. The school got more, but everybody was cool. Like it wasn't like I met people before I even went to school with them because I played sports with them. Okay. So it wasn't like one of those schools where everybody just distant and everything.
Everyone stayed in the cliques type of thing.
Yeah. So everybody got along well with each other and everything. So.
When did you know that you were just an ultra athlete?
Really, ever since I touched the football when I was 8 years old. Okay. I kind of just like. When I was younger, I used to take everything to the house. Like my first touches, once I scored that first touchdown, it's like I knew that they couldn't stop me, and I knew I had something that other people didn't have. And so it really just took off from there, just the excitement of the game and everything. So.
When you were playing 11U as an 8-year-old, how did that even happen?
I mean, my brother was really playing, and I got into it, and I didn't think they even. I wanted to play tackle football. Okay. And I didn't want to play flag, and so the only age level they had was 11U. And so I was just like, why don't I just start playing tackle, try it out? And it, like from the get-go, it wasn't too hard for me. Like the dudes were like, they was a little bigger than me because I was shorter, but it's like I had speed over them and everything. And once I realized that speed is the name of the game, I was just like,
if they can't touch you, you can't put me on the ground. I feel that. I feel that. When did you start like really building muscle?
I'll say I always had that frame. Okay. My parent, Liberian, the food we eat. Just get your body right.
Of course.
I'll really say junior year of high school, sophomore, junior year of high school. Okay. When I really started like pumping more weight and, getting right. Because at first I thought I was going to be a hooper. I didn't know if I was going to play football or basketball.
What's the thing that like swayed you away from it?
Okay. It was really Troy Bell. I don't know if you know who Troy Bell is, but he played at my high school. Okay. And, he... in LeBron draft class, he was first round pick, and he used to text me like, because he went to Holy Angels, he was just like, man, you good at basketball, you good at football, like you're gonna have options in both. He's like, but man, that football thing, like he said, you got something special that other kids don't have, like you can go far with that. And coming from him, it was like a big thing because he's a all-time
he did it
record holder at my school, played in the league. He's been around good players, and he loved football more than basketball. He ended up playing basketball. Oh, okay. And so it was like it really wasn't about what I love more. It was about what's gonna take me farther.
Yeah, what's gonna put money on the plate.
Yeah, what's gonna take care of my family.
Of course, of course. I feel that.
So that's really what it came down to.
How do you, when you are trying to like break through routes and stuff like that, how do you like see everything? Like another reason why I bring that up. So you played offense and defense while you were in high school, right?
Yeah. I played all like 3 years. Throughout my 4 years, I played defense, but yeah.
Yeah. Did you end up? You were a wide receiver at some point, right?
Yeah. So I started off playing slot.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Freshman year, and then my freshman year I took a return to the house. And, we were short on running back, and then we had a senior running back, Tommy Shellstead, that year.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I started playing a little bit of running back, and then it was like my sophomore year, I got that starting spot.
Okay.
Just like after that, it was just like, man, running back my spot.
For football players, I see that they are put in so many different positions. Why are a lot of players so versatile? Like you see with the Dolphins right now, it's literally anyone can play any position, but they're just like ultra fast.
Yeah, I feel like it's just how you're raised, how you're born. Like I feel like I've always been somebody who's not just doing one thing. Like if my team needs me to play defense, offense, like I've always had that in me. So I feel like you just gotta have it in you. Like everybody don't got it in them, but if you're willing to go that extra mile and like my parents taught me to always work hard and overachieve stuff. So, like, if you're built for that, then it's easy. But if you're not, then it's not. So I can't really say there's a certain, like thing you got to do to be versatile. You kind of just got to have it in you, and just like.
How do you curate that killer instinct into you?
Man, really just I watched a lot of Kobe Bryant, MJ, and watching the MJ documentary and everything. It's just like. I got that Mamba mentality from that. And Kobe, he inspired a lot of people, but people don't really dive into the real person. They just see the quotes and they see all the stuff on Instagram and the videos. But if you really dive into their life and their story, like you learn a lot of things about them that you wouldn't know. And it was like watching the MJ documentary, I'm just like, I'm trying to be the best. And I don't know if you heard the Draymond Green video. It was like he was like, if you don't already think you're the best, then you're wrong. Like, you got to have that mindset. You can't just be an average guy and just go in trying to be, I want to go to the NFL. Like, for me, I'm trying to be the best in the NFL. I'm trying to be the best in college. Like, I'm not trying to compare myself to college players right now because at the end of the day, I'm trying to be in the league. So I'm looking at the McCaffreys. I'm looking at, the best backs in the league now and seeing, like, what I got to do to be better than them.
I feel that. That's fire. That's fire. Yeah. And the reason why I bring up the killer instinct aspect of it, so during high school, one of the things that I really recognized, there's the only thing that's different from a player that's like on the bench and a player that's starting and then a player that's getting a lot of points is just how much confidence an individual has, right? And I even noticed that about myself because it's like I wasn't that good at basketball while I was in high school and middle school, all that stuff. But after the season or during the practices, I'll be killing everybody till the game. And I just didn't have that confidence to really step up and just like really hoop. Because like one of the things that I find myself now, that's how I met like a lot of like the hoopers that are in Minnesota, where it's like open runs or I remember I tried out for Duo Minnesota one year, and you could only be so good until the confidence just like takes hold and like runs with it. And that's one of the things I wanted to mention earlier while you were talking about being a scorer. I feel like a lot of kids don't realize it's not that hard to score in high school, because if you're aggressive, you could get 5 layups, just 10 points easy.
You can get 15 points on some James Harden stuff off free throws.
Exactly. So even just the average 30, all you have to do, you must get to the free throw line at least like 5 times. Get to the free throw line. You have 10 points, and then get a couple points in ISO, get a couple points in transition, and get like 2 ISOs.
I mean, I got like 200 points off of just fast breaks because my brother would just get the rebound, be down the court, get launched, and I get a layup. So
be ready to run in all positions. And why do you think a lot of kids don't have that confidence when they are growing up before like they even get to the game?
I think a big part of confidence is faith. And I feel like my faith has always been strong with my family and everything. Like we go to church every Sunday. I grew up, having a lot of faith. So a lot of it comes with faith, and you got to have trust in God. Even when things aren't going well, you got to have that trust in Him, and like He'll lead you and guide you in the ways that you never knew you can do. Because when I was in college, my first year, it was tough year coming out of high school. I was that guy in high school. I came to college, I felt prepared. I was outworking everybody. But some stuff happened. I wasn't in the best position, but I just controlled what I can control. And I kept faith in God. And so now when I get this opportunity, it's like my confidence out the roof, because when I wasn't getting what I wanted, I was still working hard, and I still kept my faith in God. So that's what makes me confident as ever. I'm not scared to, I can go out there. I'm not afraid to make mistakes. Like I'm playing freely now, and that's the separator. Like once you get that faith, it's like you're gonna take off with it.
Yeah. How obsessive are you with your crafts?
Man, I couldn't really put it into words, but you know, it means everything to me. My craft means everything, and that's what's got me to this point. And so I'm not just gonna come here to college just to be average. Like if I'm in college, I'm trying to, you know,
there'd be no point in going to college if you're just average.
You feel me? My parents, like, they work too hard. Like I didn't want I didn't want to have to pay for college. Yeah. And so just getting a scholarship meant everything for me. It's like, now that I'm here, why not make the most out of it? And why not try to be the best I can be? Like, some kids enjoy having time off or resting, taking, like, that stuff. For me, it's like, dude, that's what separates you. When I, you know, spend extra time in the gym, when people are going home after practice and I'm staying, catching extra passes, that's what separates me. And it's gonna show, but they're not always gonna see the work. You gotta do it behind the scenes. Like, don't do it for other people. That's what I realized. Some people do it for the social media and they want to be seen this way, that way. And it's like, everything that's got me to this point is just working behind the scenes. So I'm gonna just keep doing it. That's my formula. You know, people don't know about it, but that's what keeps me going. Like, people don't see what I do, but when they see me on the field, they realize it's all gonna click at some point for them. You feel me? So
yeah, I have a youngin right now. He plays at Coon Rapids right now. Youngin. I think he's a sophomore, Afi Ebikwe, right? Wide receiver. He's one of the better wides in the state of Minnesota. And empty social media, just nothing. And one of the main things that I remember him telling his brother that told me, he was like, yeah, I feel like I'm going to start posting when I'm in the league, when it matters for me to post. So I find that very different because of it can really go to your head being a high school athlete. For sure. Because it's like, for some reason, everyone treats you as if you're a king, just walking around these regular people, and trying to not let it go to your head. I feel like it's one of like the most difficult things when it comes to high school sports. Have you was it ever difficult having it not go to the head?
I would say it definitely was, because you know, my senior year I deleted on my social media, and it was like, you know, I logged back in every once in a while, but it was tough because when you're winning awards like, you know, Mr. Football and National High School Player of the Year, a lot comes with that. Yeah. But it's like the circle that I had when people weren't praising me, those are the ones that I kept around. So it was like, when I got what I wanted, it was like, those are the same people I was talking to. It wasn't like I was letting anybody I was saying thanks, people's congratulating me, but I didn't let any of that get to my head, and I just kept my circle small. But it's tough because, you know, there's always going to be temptation. There's always going to be people out there that's trying to be your friend because you're doing well, and that's when you just gotta realize, like, the ones that's gonna be for you, like, they're gonna be for you when you're not doing your best, when you're going through the toughest times of life. Those are the ones you gotta keep around when you're doing well, because those are gonna be the ones that, you know, you be with the rest of your life. They're gonna be real. They're gonna tell you when you slacking. Like my brother, I know he always gonna tell me when I'm not working my best. If he sees something I'm not doing well, he gonna tell me. But like a friend that's been around and like they just be around when you're doing well, they're not gonna really know how to relate to you or like give you advice, you know what I'm saying? So just know who's there for you, like, through your dark times, and know who's gonna be there for you when you know, doing well. Yeah.
When do you recognize when someone is letting everything get to their head? Like, have you ever seen one of your homies that was have you ever had a homie that was like, yeah, they were like better than you before, but now they let all the social media, all the people, all the adulation get to their head, and now they start to like fall behind and they weren't able to get into like college or any things like that? I mean,
I never had a homie that was really better than me, but
I
had some homies that, you know, that didn't reach their full potential because they, you know, weren't limited distractions and big on the social media stuff. And like, even some people now, this is why I try to preach this, is because they look into who has what offer. Like, this person has this offer, I don't have this offer, like, I'm better than him. Like, don't compare yourself to him, just go work and just let the results speak for yourself. And once I did that in high school, because I ain't gonna lie, I was frustrated sometimes. I was ranked 11th going into my senior year. I didn't have no big scholarships, no Power 5s, nothing. And I was just like, as long as I keep faith in God, my brother was there supporting me. As long as I keep faith in God, as long as I keep working hard, like, everything that God wants is going to happen.
Why was it so difficult for you to get your offer? Because it's like, weren't you averaging like about 1,200 yards per season type of thing?
I was putting up like 250 rushing the game my senior year. And
keep in mind, that's only 12 games. They don't have that many games anyway. So continue.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't know. I feel like people don't really recruit Minnesota.
Okay.
And I think
how?
I don't know how, but it's like that's why I'm glad I'm in this position because it's bigger than just me. I'm trying to help the younger kids in Minnesota. Like I'm trying to put us out there more to get recruited more. But I honestly couldn't tell you the reason why they didn't offer me because I was seeing some kids that I know, you know what I'm saying? I know, but I just needed that one. Nebraska took that chance on me, gave me a scholarship, and I was just like, that's all I needed.
Did the floodgates open once you got the one?
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota, a couple other schools started trying to talk to me, but it was like late in my senior year. I got it like December. And so I just was like, if that one school got faith in me, I don't need to go out looking for other schools. Like, I need that one chance, and the cream wasn't gonna rise to the top. So
I feel that.
Whatever
Do you kind of regret not going to Minnesota?
They didn't offer me.
Really? It took too long?
I don't even know what to say with that one. Like, I mean, I grew up being a Minnesota fan. And, it would have been nice to play in front of my family and everything, but they didn't offer me a scholarship. And after I went Mr. Football and all that, so it was just like, God got a plan for me, and I really think that happened for a reason. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, man, they should have offered me. I'm not gonna be mad about it because the position I'm in right now,
I got to the next step. You could only be so greedy. Yeah,
I mean, we played them every year. So.
That's fair. I feel that. I remember I had Brandon on. He was Mr. Minnesota, I think the same year or the year after you.
Okay.
And he was able to go to the U after getting Mr. Minnesota. And do you feel like there's a sense of pride being from here now?
Yeah, I would just say like, I mean, people don't even be knowing where Minnesota is. Like when I go to school, like everybody talking about, are you from Minnesota? What they got down there? Like, they got football players. I'm just like, yeah, like it is some pride. Like I'm blessed and I'm glad I'm from Minnesota because a lot of kids here are struggling right now. They can hear my story and be like, let me just keep working. Let me not, get upset that things aren't going my way. And, they could just use the same strategy I did and get to where they want to get.
Because one of the things I find really interesting about Minnesota, literally if you go to any school in the Midwest, their best players are from Minnesota. Even let's say basketball, NDSU. I remember Vin was one of their starters out there.
Vinny, you talking about Vinny?
Yeah. And I'm like, how did y'all get him at Minnesota, the bigger school? How did y'all was able to recruit? And then you have examples like Jalen Suggs or Chet now.
Man, there's been a lot of dudes I've seen go to different places.
Exactly. And
some guys playing in the league now too.
Exactly. Yeah. And do you feel like there's like it's difficult to retain home talent because they tend to, when they are good, they tend to be like obnoxiously good, one of the best players in the nation type of thing?
I mean, I couldn't really tell you. I don't know what the reason is, but whatever it is, I feel like they should try to keep kids home because it's different when you're playing for your hometown. Like you got your family, you got everybody watching you in the stands. It's like, they gonna go out there and play as hard as they can. If I got my mom, my dad at every game, my family at every game, like I'm gonna go out there and play hard. Like I'm from here. Like you should be proud to rep that.
Of course.
I definitely think they're recruiting more Minnesota players now. But with me, I just use my story to help others. But I'm glad that they're recruiting Minnesota people now. It's good to see younger kids trying to stay home and have family come to the games and stuff.
Oh, when you started really getting at lifting, how did it feel? Like when you were lifting, did you find yourself just like mentally changing the more you were lifting?
Like just growing?
Yeah, growing, the way that you just like moved around the world. Did it feel different?
I would say.
Wait, real quick, because didn't you go from like 160 to 180 in like a year?
Nah, yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I was on some crazy stuff. My brother, we was lifting every day. Like, I kind of just took my anger out because like I was frustrated. Like I said about the scholarship stuff, I used to be frustrated about that. Like, why am I not getting this offer? And when I realized, let me just go outwork that kid. Let me just go get an extra lift in. Like that's what separated me. I feel like, and I wasn't controlling my weight at the time. I was just lifting, and the progress gonna show. So if you just keep working, that progress always gonna show at some point. But that's what I did. I worked. I didn't care what anybody thought about me. I just got off the media. I just started working, and it led to success. So
I feel that. Now to move towards the pros. Now that there's been an underpaying of running backs, why do you think that is from your own perspective as a running back?
Yeah, I definitely feel like
that can produce. But continue.
I definitely feel like they feel like the running backs can just do one thing and they're limited to one thing, and that's why I don't even label myself as a running back. Like, I feel like I'm a weapon. Like I could do different things. Like they paying receivers over some running backs. It's like I could do what a receiver can do, and I could do what a running back can do. So you see Bijan Robinson, you see some of those dudes that's getting paid well. And it's because they versatile and they can line up in the slot one play, line up in the back for one play. So I think that's the main reason why they feel like running backs. They get banged up quickly, they get hurt, injuries and stuff like that. But if you're a weapon in the league, that's why I'm trying to change that. Like, I'm trying to make sure they know I can do everything. So I'm not going to label myself as just a running back. Like, if you got a receiver, like, I bet you I can run a better route than him. You feel me? So I'm just, I'm hoping to help, the next generation of young running backs, because I don't think it's fair at all for what running backs can do.
I feel that. I asked Antoine Kimmins this on the show like last year. What is the difference from going from high school to the Division I level, especially as a Big Ten?
I'll say the biggest difference is just how physical the game is and how much faster everybody is. It's like you're the best player in your state or somewhere, and then everybody the best player in their state. So you got to do something that separates you from them. And so it's just like people bigger, faster, stronger. But the transition for me wasn't hard because I've always been a worker. So I've always worked hard, and like it wasn't tough for me. But the biggest thing is you got to be in the weight room. You got to be able to think. Like the mentality got to be different when you get to college. Everybody's smart. So you got to just do that one extra thing that separates you. And that's why I said, like, the extra lift, the extra after practice, the extra stuff, it all adds up.
How did you learn to read, like, defenses?
And a lot of it was just watching the game. I watched a lot of NFL, football and stuff like that out of high school. And the knowledge I got now on football is like, man, if I had that in high school, man, it would have been even crazier.
What's for example, one of the little things that you've learned while you've been in college that would have been crazy?
I mean, just fronts, like the reading fronts, aiming points, like the little stuff in college matters. Like,
what is aiming point?
So like where you align with the ball before pre-snap, like where you align, that little stuff right there, just like. That's a big difference. Where you align, where you got to go. Like the aiming point in terms of just like getting a handoff, like you got to read the defense. So in high school, I used to get the ball and just
do whatever. Try to get over. Okay.
But now you can see before the play, okay, this guy, he's in the 3 technique. I'm reading him. Like if he goes out, I'm in. Like just little stuff like that. It's like I didn't have that knowledge in high school, but now it's like I'm becoming a pro at mastering that. And a lot of the game is mental. Okay. You see McCaffrey, you see what he's doing in the league, like. He's a smart dude. I got some coaches that coached him. And so he's a really smart dude, and that's what can get you to play in the league for a long time.
Is it difficult trying to catch up to the Division I level? Like one of the things that I hear from a lot of athletes, not even athletes, especially basketball players, especially when they're slashers. The main thing that you need to know, if you're gonna drive, you have to at least get 2 feet inside the paint. Yeah. And for another example, you have to get from like right to left, like you have to be able to like cross the box because of you have to have the defender get over to try and block you, and then you drop it down, and then you have a lot of more open stuff like that. Yeah. Is it hard if you aren't taught correctly to be able to transition to the Division I level?
It definitely is, and I feel like a lot of it's coaching, like you said. Once you get to college, it's like when I first got to the playbook, it's like. In high school, my playbook was like this. In college, your playbook like this. Not even that. I got to know what the receiver got on this route because, like, if I'm trying to be a weapon, I got to know the whole playbook. Okay. I got to be able to go play different positions. So that extra step of just you got to do extra studying. It's like school, man. Like it's like studying for a test. Like you got to really, really study or else you're going to fail. Yeah.
Did Holy Angels really set you up for that? Because I feel like they have a heavy emphasis on particular things like that.
Nah, school-wise, for sure, I would definitely say – my GPA is way better in college than it is in high school. Like this is easier than what I was doing in high school, and that that's props to Holy Angels for preparing me and stuff like that. But I'm just I'm glad that the knowledge of the game is everything. You got to be smart, and that's what I'm trying to tell people. Like you got to have a brain and everything in life. If you're a good football player, you don't got the smarts, you don't got the brain. You can play football, but when football's over, what you got after that? So for me, I'm trying to do other things. Like my major is advertising and public relations. I'm trying to build relations with people, getting the advertisements, do endorsement stuff, so that when I get to NFL, I don't got to worry about my football money. I could just do endorsements, put all that aside, take care of my family.
It's interesting. What's harder, playing O or playing D for football?
I would definitely say playing defense.
Okay. How come?
Just because, like, okay, for example, like I played safety in high school, but if you think about corners, like they, you know, that's probably the toughest position in my opinion, because you don't know what route they running.
Yeah.
Like you're just lining up out there and you don't know if he gonna hit you with a hitch and go.
Yeah.
Like that's a tough position to be able to backpedal.
Just blow game. Right past you.
Go right past you. But when I'm on offense, it's like I can get the ball and just go do me.
Yeah.
Like that's way more simple than having to play defense and cover and know where to be in zone or man. Know what they lining up in.
Yeah.
Be able to play the motions. Like
so, I'm assuming defense is a lot more athletic, especially being the safety.
Yeah, I mean, I got recruited for defense. That was another thing.
So okay.
It was like, you know, I really did whatever it took for my team to win. Like my senior year, I think I had like 85 tackles or something like that just off of playing hard. And that's why I feel like running back now, I can really master it because in high school, I was playing both sides of the ball.
Okay.
Now it's like, I just got to play running back. Like, man, I could just, master this and take off with it. And I'm going to be in shape. So
would you be interested in playing O and D in college?
I've been thinking about that. I'm watching guys in college now. I mean, Travis Hunter, you guy that's been doing it, but it's like, dude, I know I could do that for sure to help my team win. And it's like, I'm willing to do it. It's about, who
if they really call on your card.
Yeah. Really, because the corner coach at Nebraska, the other day, he was just like, man, I wish I had you on playing safety, man. You look like you aggressive, like, and he got no idea that I played in high school. So it's like
I've been aggressive all my life.
That's what I'm saying. It's like people could see that in me when I play running back and I run hard at somebody. Like they could see the defensive side in me. So yeah.
So I'm assuming when you were an 8-year-old, you weren't scared to be hit.
Not at all, man. I've never been scared to be hit, and it's like,
how come?
I've always been fearless.
Okay.
I've always been the fearless kid. Like if you ask my parents, like, that's why I wear number 21 too. Like it's my brother and my sister, and I was like the unexpected child they just had. And so when I grew up, I was always fearless. Like I wasn't scared to do anything. I used to run around when I was a kid, hit my head on the bunk bed. I used to be just messing around, be a bad kid, and like.
Is that where the scars from?
I got a scar right here and a scar right here. It's like a cross. Like it makes sense.
Oh wow, that's fire.
But it's like I've been when I was a kid, I was bad, man. I used to run around and do stuff. It's like now that I've grown up, I've always been fearless and hitting like football like that. Taking care of my body's been big now in college compared to high school. Like it's crazy because I had a 55 carry game in high school, and the next day I woke up and I felt just fine. I took ibuprofen. I felt like so I was just like after that game, that was one of those games. It's like if my body can survive this,
I'm chilling.
The next level gonna be sweet. And now it's like I got the tools, I could go in the cold tub, hot tub, I can do contrast, I could get massages. I got all that now in Nebraska, so I'm trying to make use of all that stuff, like because that's what's gonna keep you healthy for a long time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of running backs get banged up. So
yeah. How do you like meditate and things like that?
Yeah, meditation. My brother has also been, teaching me that stuff. And
how did it start?
When did I start, or how did it start?
How did it start? Like,
I just, football, a lot of it's like mental, like I told you, and you gotta sometimes take your mind away from that, and you gotta find a balance in where like you can just you can be focused, but at the same time you can release some of that stress that comes with the game of football. People think it's fun being a D1 athlete, but wait until you have to wake up at 5-6 a.m. in the morning, be home at 9-10 p.m. and you got schoolwork and you got to wake up again early, do the same thing. So the mental part, like I said, is really important, and meditation is something I've just started doing really, and I do it before every game. If you see me on TV or anything before any game, I'm in the middle of the field. I'm walking around the field a couple times, and I sit down under the goalpost.
Oh yeah.
And I meditate and just thank God for the opportunity. Most importantly, like I always give thanks to God and just live in the moment. Yeah.
The scariest thing I feel about going D1 would be underperforming. Because it's like one of my homies, he went D1 to play basketball. Yeah, he went to play basketball. And then he wasn't really performing to the level that he believed that he should have, right? And then it got to the point where they're like, yeah, bro, you just can't be on the team. We got to cut you to swing the scholarship to the next person. Yeah. And I feel like having that loom over your head is one of the scariest things ever.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I definitely say, like I said, confidence. I've always been confident in myself. And it's like, my faith, bro. I'm telling you, real faith in God. Like, dude, I waited 425 days to get my first college handoff, and it's like most of those days was tough. Like I'm working hard in practice, killing. I'm talking about killing, like not getting no reps in the game. And it's like if you could work when you're not getting what you want, when you do get what you want, it's gonna make it much greater. Like now that I'm getting my chance to really show what I could do, it's like every touch I'm gonna make them feel me.
Of
like
course.
Every single touch. And so I really just say just work hard. You know, for him, he probably didn't go in with the confidence, you know, thinking that he, you know, is that guy. For me, that's never gonna leave me. Like I'm always gonna be confident in myself. And when you play with that swagger, it's like nobody can mess with you. When you play, like if you see some dudes in the league, you can tell. I can tell how somebody was raised just off of how they play the sport. Like you see Pacheco, you see dudes playing running back in the league, and you see how hard they run. You could tell they grew up, you know, in the struggle, like just off of watching them play. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Where does the not so much the confidence, but the self-talk, was that a big thing for you?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was, but it's the guidance I have around me, my mom, dad, my brother, just them being there for me and everything. The self-talk, it's kind of God-given too, because once you talk to God and get faith in God, it's like he directs you in ways that you never thought, you know, would happen. And so the self-talk comes to me talking to God and just, you know, the things that he's instilled in my life and just being a big believer. It's like, if you believe in God, you feel like nothing's going to go wrong. Like you could go through the worst of times, and if you keep your faith, you feel like you're going to be good regardless. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't have that faith. And so that's what it hurts them. A lot of people let the game get to them mentally. Some of my friends, you know, they're not even playing no more. Like they quitting because it's too much on the mental. And I feel a little bit, you know, bad about it, because I feel like if I would have taught them how to be, you know, like in their faith more of God and everything,
being in the book,
it would have, you know, helped them. But a lot of people, it's like a lot of people don't want to follow God and take the time to actually speak to him. And so that's what I advise people to do now, is just, you know, open the Bible, even if it's a couple minutes a night or something. Just start somewhere and just see where it takes you from there.
What was the craziest play you've ever had?
Man, it's been a couple, but I think definitely my sophomore year against Bunnell St. Margaret.
Okay.
It was
that the one where you read out there? Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a dude named I think he was number 11. I can't really remember, but he tried to tackle me 3 times. And the first time, it's like I juked out to the sideline. He came hustling back. I think I cut in again, and then I kept running down the sideline. It was like he tried to come back for more, because it's like I was just cutting from left to right, to right. And then I stopped suddenly, like on a dime, and then cut in to the left. They thought I was going to the left to score. Cut back to the right. And it was like, after that play the next morning, I checked my phone, like overtime, Sports Center, everybody posting
the whole
run.
team.
Yeah, the whole team. And that was one of the runs that I won't forget. After that run, that was like the run that gave me, like, I had confidence at the time, but I'm like, bro, I could really go far with this football thing. And that was my sophomore year. That's when I was still hooping. I didn't know what I was going to play in college. After that run, I'm like, man, these dudes, if they can't stop me, like, doing stuff like this, it's like, it's going to be way sweeter, you know, in the future. So
when you actually have like money behind you and the training and the people.
If you ask my brother, man, that run, it's like, people still talk about that run today. That's how like powerful it really was in my career. And that like kind of flipped everything for me. Like some schools, I think I got some attention off that, just that run.
Okay.
But, you know, there's a lot of great runs coming in the future too.
Who was the person where you just like, when you saw them, you just like lick your lips? You know you're going to score anytime you want, from basketball to football.
I was really every opponent in my senior year of high school, but I would say like BSM in high school, that was just a different game. Like playing DSL or BSM, that big rivalry. I'm talking about my freshman year in high school. I was playing my brother for the first time in football, and it was like they beat us in sections. We beat them regular season, but they beat us in playoffs, and that stuck with me forever. Like seeing my brother tear up, seeing, you know, Tommy, all those dudes tear up, and like that's when I realized the rivalry was personal. And it was like after that year, I think it was maybe one time, but like the rest of my career, I think I only lost them once. And we beat them like 4 or 5 times, like every time we played them. And that was just a game that I knew I had to, you know, every time I go line up against DSL too, because we played them in playoffs, and you know they a hooping school, so they used to get us in basketball some years, and it would be like I beat them my junior year. That's when I scored my 1,000.
Y'all beat them?
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy.
But it's like that's a team that when you play them in football, it's like I'm gonna make you feel me, because like I remember what y'all did to us in basketball, and so that was one of those schools where it's like every time we play them, I'm like, coach, keep me in. My coach, man, my senior year, he frustrated me because I had I think I had 5 touchdowns with 275 rushing at halftime.
Oh wow.
And,
Okay.
like, I wanted to keep like messing them up all game. It was playoffs. My coach took me out after halftime. I didn't play the rest of the game, but that was one of those games I just wanted to let them know, like,
56-0. That's what
I could have set a state record that game too.
Oh wow. So. Okay, I feel that. And now speaking on the other side, is there a player, especially like in basketball, that's just like they're hard to go up against every single time?
In basketball, let me think. I'll definitely say like when Ty and those dudes was at DSL, Ty Terry. It was tough going up against them just because like we grew up playing against those dudes at parks and stuff like that, but we just knew it was extra competition when we played against them in basketball, and like it was a big rivalry. DSL was always a big rival game, and we were always like close to beating them, and then we finally beat them. Oh, okay. And it was just a good feeling because DSL a good hoop school. So
have like 71 players for no reason.
Nah, for real.
Did y'all ever get a chance to play Minnehaha?
Nah, that's one game. Football. I want to play them in football and basketball because when Jalen was a senior, I was a sophomore, I'm pretty sure, and we were like one game away from playing them. We lost to it was Bunnell. We lost to Bunnell, and they played Bunnell, and Bunnell was up on them, came back and they came back and beat Bunnell. But that was the year I wanted to play them in football too. Just like because at the time they had Jalen, Caden, Craig, all those dudes, and it was like I wanted to showcase what I could. I knew if I played against those dudes, like they good players, but I knew what I could do. And so it was like one of those games I just want. It would have been one of the biggest Minnesota competition games out there, but I'm not ducking no smoke, so I wanted to play Minnehaha all years, but we never scheduled it. Like, it never got to work. So.
No, I feel that. I always hated when you just like lose one game in front of the one game that you actually wanted to play all
Yeah, man, that's like that playoff game. That's what I'm saying. You got to be healthy around that time. I realized that in high school, the regular season's cool and all, but it don't really matter. It's not as fun. There's always an upset. There's always an upset.
Exactly. So. Oh my god. Because I remember when we sold so crazy. I think we lost to like Patrick Henry or something like that. The game right before we would have saw Minnehaha. And the thing that blows me the most, because Minnehaha went and blew out every single team by 30 until they went to state and won by 50.
That's Minnehaha though.
And I'm like, we would have put up a fight at least.
That's what I'm saying.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, no, it's a crazy thing.
Nah, for sure.
Do you ever wish that you went down the basketball route?
Nah. I think I made the right decision.
Okay.
But I definitely feel like I could have went the basketball route, but I definitely feel like I could feed my family and take care of my family and do bigger things in the football world, like just outside of football too. You know what I'm saying? So I think football is the right route for me, and I'm in a great position right now. Like, if I really do what I'm supposed to do this year, next year, like I have a chance to clear for the draft. So everything happens for a reason.
Why is in football it's 3 years before you can declare?
I don't know. I was thinking about like I feel like it should be 2 in my opinion. Because I know it's a lot more developing in football. Like your body got to get right. Basketball is one and done, but I think there's some dudes that be good enough to go on 2 years. Because
the main reason why I was thinking about that, I'm like, Mahomes could have went one and done.
Man,
Ezekiel Elliott could have went one and done. And there's a lot of these players. Miles Garrett could have went one and done, but then they wasted 2-3 years.
The crazy thing too about that is I think Mahomes started playing football as a junior year high school. Like that dude just picked up football. He's a baseball player. I think picked up football.
Some people just understand the game better than a lot of people.
Nah, facts. That's what I'm saying. Some people got it in them. Some people don't. It's just, you just gotta have that in you. You know what I'm saying? So.
Do you think that you could have played, if you could have played basketball or football, what sport would you have played?
I'm not gonna lie. If I was getting to the money quicker in basketball, one and done, I would have went that route. But I still think man, football is something that I just feel like I got something that other people don't have.
Okay.
And it's just like, I don't know. I think I could take off with this sport. Like I really feel like I could be the best to play this game. Like. And I'm just saying that I truly believe it because I know the work I put in. Like that's why I'm telling you, when I got those awards my senior year, I wasn't surprised at all. I was happy for myself, but I was like, man, the work I put in. If they would have seen the work I put in, they would understand why the success I got. So, I think football is a sport, man. I'm nowhere near my peak. Like I'm still striving right now.
Now speaking of the awards, how did it feel once you got the Mr. Minnesota?
Man. I ain't gonna lie, I teared up a little bit, but like I said, it felt great. Just my family being there. We had a little It was a little ceremony for it. It was like the top 10 finalists, and just to hear my name get called was everything. Even though I didn't get a state championship, I was frustrated about that. But to know, you're the best player in the state, Minnesota, before going into the year, I wasn't ranked in the top 10 or nothing. But just to see that hard work pay off, that meant a lot for me. But I knew that was just a starting point in my career, and I knew that, God did that for a reason. Like I went through my toughest times, not getting scholarships and, still striving, still working hard. And I think God put me in a position where, that award is like, when you talk about Mr. Football, nobody else got it. It's just you. Yeah. And so I truly think it's God given. You feel me? It's just me. Like seeing my name stamped on the Mr. Football list, it's like, it means everything.
There's one of 25.
It's like it's it's a big deal. But
and then transition that to the National Football Player of the Year. How did that even happen?
Man, so
because I didn't even know they had that.
Yeah, so it's like a new award that they're trying to do now.
Yeah.
They seen the numbers. I think the numbers are really what got them. Like my numbers, because it was a lot of out-of-state kids. It wasn't no other Minnesota kid or anything. It was, I think Travis Hunter was in that too. But it was like a voting thing. So it was like the fans decide. It's like once I committed to Nebraska, it's like the Nebraska fans, big fan base. I'm talking about sold out every home game.
Yeah,
like,
it's a football city state here.
So once they seen that, everybody started voting. It started going up. I think it was like 2 weeks of voting, and the fans just really did it for me, and they voted for me. And when I got that award, it was like big because that gave me notice on a bigger level. I was already in college, but it was like National High School Player of the Year, like not just the best in the state.
That's crazy.
National, it's like yeah, I was proud of myself for that too. But like I said, all that stuff is great. But man, Heisman, Dork Walker Award, like there's a lot of awards that I can win in college, and that's what I'm looking for now.
What's next for you? How are you going to take your game to the next level?
I mean, really just, staying in this moment right now and, making the most out of every day because, next week we got Northwestern. You know what I'm saying? So I got 6 games left this regular season, possibly a bowl game after that to show what I can do on a national level. You know what I'm saying? So these next games, I'm just going to keep working my butt off and just show the world what Emmett Johnson really is because I'm just starting to get, the love and get my opportunity and everything. So now it's just showing it on a national level and, making a name for myself, getting my name on that draft board and everything. That's the next step now. And it starts now. Like I said, it's not about next week. It starts today.
I feel that. And we've reached that segment of Wish I Had a Sensei where my guests give some advice that they wish that they had when they're growing up, some advice for them now and some advice for them in the future.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. So.
Oh, no, you give some advice to the people.
For advice?
Yeah.
Man, just, trust in God. Just keep working hard. He going to handle the rest. And all you young athletes out there, don't pay attention to no rankings, limit social media. Just stay focused, man. God got a plan for you. Just keep your faith up and, everything will fall in place.
Of course. All right, y'all. Leave like, comment, sub. Go follow his page.
Yes,
and all right, y'all.
Shout out my boy Sensei, man. He up next.
Of course. Do y'all have a website for Bag Fam? Is that a thing? Are y'all what's happening?
We got a little website, but we got something cooking up, so it's
in the coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all.
All right.
We out.